Let's take a look at a couple of examples of why we might want to do any of this. Let's say your band needs to put together a quick and dirty demo that you can send out in a press kit so you can get gigs. Instead of paying for expensive studio time, you might just want to record a live performance. There are loads of 4-track recording devices on the market today, both analog tape machines or self-contained DAWs. That's digital audio workstations for those of you new to this. Today, digital is pretty much the way people are going, mainly because of its low entry cost and its ability to allow you to edit and fix things in a non-linear fashion without having to be a whiz at splicing tape. If you have access to a 4-track recorder, as an oversimplified example, if you have a vocalist, guitar, bass, and drums, you might set things up like this. Take the vocal channel and select the group 1 and 2 switch. Then pan it all the way to the left, which ensures that it's only part of group 1. Next, do the same with the guitar channel, except this time select the group 1 and 2 switch and pan it all to the right, making it only part of group 2. Then take the bass channel and select the group 3 and 4 switch, pan it all the way to the left, making it only part of group 3. For the drums, you probably have multiple inputs like a kick, snare, hi-hat, high toms, and floor toms. Take each of the drum channels and select the group 3 and 4 switches and pan them all to the right. Now all of the drums will only be part of group 4. Plug each of the corresponding group outputs into the 4-track recorder, making sure to keep true to your numbering. You know, group 1 out to recording track 1 input, and so on. Now you can set your group faders to the necessary levels of signal you want going into your 4-track. Be careful to set the input gains on the 4-track to make sure that you don't overload it and wind up recording a distorted signal. Let's take a look at a way to submix your drums to give you greater control over what your 4-track records. Now in this case, we're going to set up the vocal, the guitar, and the bass in their own appropriate groups. Only this time we'll make the vocal group 2, the guitar group 3, and the bass group 4. We're not going to use group 1 at all. For the drums, instead of assigning them to a group, we're going to assign them to aux send 1. If we do this, we can mix exactly how much of each drum we send onto the aux 1 bus. Every place on the diagram where aux bus 1 intersects with the drum channels, we see the white dot. These are the aux controls that we already learned about. So if we want more snare and less hi-hat, we have the luxury of doing that. In the previous example, all the drums went out as part of the group at the same levels their channel faders were set to. In this example, the channel faders can remain where you need them for the live performance sound, and the aux controls can be set for how you want the recording to be. So once we have the individual channel aux controls set, we can then send the entire signal, which is now mixed as we like it, out from the aux sends control for send 1 to the aux send jack on the back of the mixer. Then we can connect the aux send 1 jack to channel 1 input on the 4-track recorder and have a completely mixed drum sound. Then again, if you only want to record your practice sessions, all you really need is something like a cassette recorder. Just plug it into the record output jacks on the back of the mixer. It's probably the easiest way to find out if your band is coming together. We talked quite a bit about inserts and their uses and how we always need a special insert cable. Well, inserts can also apply to groups. Each of the groups, in addition to having an output jack, also has an insert jack. They work just like the channel inserts do, except the equipment you connect to group insert 1, for instance, will be applied to all the members of the group. In other words, if you're plugging in a reverb unit to group insert 1, make sure only channels you want to have reverb on them are part of group 1. Get it? Same goes for the 2 stereo outputs. The left and right outputs also have an insert jack. They work just like the channel inserts do, except the equipment you connect to stereo output left side, for instance, will be applied to everything on the left output side, and likewise for the right. The master control area of the mixer has a meters section that's very helpful in ensuring that the signal levels you monitor when you depress a PFL button, for instance, are within acceptable limits. Signal levels that are within limits are generally displayed in green, with the upper acceptable limit displaying in yellow. Signals that exceed limits are displayed as red and will be distorted. Sometimes a very brief instance of a signal will go red, but it's best to avoid this from happening too much. It's best not to exceed yellow. When monitoring signal levels, in addition to viewing the console meters, it's good to listen as well. This is accomplished by using a pair of good headphones, not earbuds. You plug them into the phone's input jack and control the volume with the volume control. Earbuds, because they fit so tightly in the ears, increase the possibility of hearing loss. Please use caution when using headphones. Excessive volume can lead to permanent hearing loss, and you really don't realize it until it's too late. So please, keep it down. I hope your band is successful enough to need to use the talkback section. If the mixer is located a significant distance from the stage, the sound person can utilize the talkback section to communicate with the stage personnel. Our Behringer mixer has a built-in microphone and a push-to-talk button for this. The volume control determines the level of the mic output. The Yamaha mixer allows you to plug in a microphone and use it. Again, there are buttons allowing you to choose whether the microphone's input is routed to the stereo bus or one of the aux buses. The volume control determines the level of the mic output.